followed by a blur of preparation and excitement. After receiving the email from Min's closet, you spend every spare moment preparing for the interview, between taking care of Johan and managing household chores. You also practice answering potential interview questions, research the latest collection from Min's closet, and update your portfolio with your best designs. Jimin had been sportive, always encouraging you and making sure you had time to focus. He even took on extra responsibilities at home, which made you proud but also worried, knowing he was already juggling a lot. You tried not to think too much about Min Yoongi, your role model, the CEO you had admired for years. You told yourself to stay focused on the interview and not get lost in fan like excitement. After all, this was your chance to finally make your mark in the fashion world. The day of the interview had arrived, and your nerves were at an all time high. You stood in front of the mirror, adjusting your outfit for what felt like the hundredth time. You had chosen a sleek, fashionable look, a tailored blazer with a chic minimalist design that reflected your fashion sense. Johan was still asleep, and Jimin, knowing how important this day was, had woken up early to make breakfast. You look perfect, Nana. You have got this. You smiled at his word, grateful for his support. Taking a deep breath, you grabbed your portfolio and bag, ready to head to the interview. When you arrived at the towering Min's Closet headquarters, the reality of the moment hit you. The building was sleek and modern, an architectural masterpiece that screamed sophistication. You stepped inside, your heels clicking against the marble floor as you were directed to the waiting area. After what felt like forever, an assistant approached. Miss Parkwayan, Mr. Min will see you now. Your heart skipped a beat as you stood up, straightening your blazer. This was it. You followed the assistant through the silk halls, trying to keep your nerves in check. As you approached the last polished door to Min Yongi's office, you took a deep breath. The door opened and there he was, Min Yongi, seated at his desk, radiating authority and calm. His sharp eyes met yours, and for a moment you were both awestruck and inspired. Have a seat. This was the moment you had worked so hard for, and now it was the time to show Yongi what you were capable of. You sat down across from Min Yongi, your heart still racing but determined to stay calm. He didn't waste time with pleasantries. Instead, he slid a familiar-looking folder across the table towards you. You recognized this? You glanced down and immediately felt your stomach drop. It was a set of designs you had sold months ago to make ends meet. They were beautiful, intricate pieces, your own creation, but now here they were, in front of Sea of Main's closet, and you felt a sinking sense of dread. Yes, I recognized them. Young's eyes stayed sharp as he leaned back in his chair. These designs were submitted to my company under someone else's name. But I have been told they are actually yours. Is that true? You hesitated for a moment but then noted there was no use in lying. Yes, they are mine. I sold them because I needed the money at the time. Young's gaze remained steady, assessing you carefully. Why would someone with this level of talent sell their work instead of taking credit for it? Why not build your own name? His words were like a challenge, and for a moment you felt exposed. You swallowed hard and answered honestly. I tried to. I have applied to dozens of companies, but every time they ask for experience, and without experience, they wouldn't give me a chance. Selling my design was the only way I could support myself, my younger brother, and my son. Young's expression didn't change, but his eyes softened just a bit. He leaned forward again, resting his elbow on the desk. You didn't finish your studies, correct? You nodded. I got married young at 18, but after 2 years I got divorced. I couldn't afford to go back to school, and my responsibilities at home kept me from pursuing a formal career. Yoongi's gaze lingered on you for a moment longer. Then he shifted the conversation. I see. Well, selling your design isn't something I condone. But work speaks for itself. Do you have anything new to show me? You nodded quickly, relieved for the chance to show him more of your work. You reach into your bag and pull it up your portfolio, hands trembling slightly as you handed it over. These were the designs you had been working on late into the night, the piece that you believed were your best yet. Yoongi opened the portfolio and began flipping through the pages. Each moment of silence felt like eternity. His face was unreadable as he examined your design, his eyes moving over every detail. Finally, after what felt like forever, he looked up at you. These are good, very good. Your heart surged, but you tried to stay composed. I see a lot of potential here. However, potential alone isn't enough. I need designers who can handle the pressure and deliver under the right deadlines. Tell me, why should I hire you now? Especially considering your past? You took a deep breath. This was your moment. Because I have learned from my mistakes. I know the value of hard work, and I'm more than willing to prove myself. I may not have formal experience, but I have been designing every day. I have to balance personal struggles while still improving my craft. I'm ready to take on whatever challenge comes my way. Yugi watched closely, his expression still serious but thoughtful. After a few more seconds of silence, he closed your portfolio and stood up. I have seen enough. You're hired. Your heart almost stopped as his words sank in. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You were being hired by Min Yoongi, the CEO of the top fashion brand in Korea. Without trial? But don't get comfortable yet. I need a design for next month's fashion show. It's the biggest event of the year and I expect nothing less than perfection. You nodded, trying to keep your composure, dissipate the excitement bubbling inside you. I understand, I will do my best. You turned to leave his office, but a thought struck you, and you stopped running back and hesitant. Mr. Min, I have a request. Yogi raised an eyebrow, waiting for you to continue. I have a 2-year-old son, and I don't have anyone to take care of him during work hours. I was wondering if I would be possible to bring him with me. I promise he won't be any trouble. For a moment, Yoongi's expression was unreadable. He stared at you, considering your words. The silence stretched on, and you could feel your nerves rising. But you held your breath, hoping he wouldn't reject the idea outright. Finally, Yoongi sighed, running a hand through his hair. Fine, but he stays in your office, and I don't want any distraction. You need to focus on your work, especially with this fashion show coming up. I felt an overwhelming sense of relief and gratitude. Thank you so much, Mr. Min. I really appreciate it. Yoongi gave a slight nod, his tone firm. Just make sure you deliver. With that, you left his office, your heart racing. Not only had you landed your dream job, but you also had the chance to create something for the most important fashion show in the world. It was a huge responsibility, but you were determined to prove yourself. You cruised through the door, barely able to contain your excitement. Johan was playing with his toys on the floor, while Jimin was sprawled on the couch with a book in his hand. As soon as you stepped, they both looked at you, sensing something was different. I'm hired. Jimin sat up, his eyes widening. Wait, what? Hired? Min closet. I'm officially a designer there. I'm hired, Jimin. Jimin's face lit up with a huge grin. He jumped up from the couch and rushed over, pulling you into a hug. No way, are you serious? That's amazing, Ryan. You did it. I did it. I can't believe it. Min Yoongi himself hired me. I'm going to design for their fashion show next month. Johan noticed all the excitement, toddled over, wrapping your leg and looking up at you with curious eyes. Mama happy? You crouched down and picked him up, spinning him around as you laughed. Yes, baby, Mama's very happy. I know you could do it, Ryan. I'm so proud of you. No, no more your delivery job, okay? Yeah, yeah. You smiled, feeling a surge of pride and joy. Everything was finally falling into place, and you couldn't wait to start this new chapter in your life. It was your first day at Min's closet, and everyone seemed to be going smoothly. You had arrived early with your hand in tow, settling him into a small play area you set up in your office. He was happily playing with his toys while you worked on your sketches, feeling the excitement of being in a place you had only dreamed of. The team was welcoming, and we had really checked in, reminding you of the importance of the upcoming fashion show. We felt a sense of determination to impress him and the company with your designs. As the day went on, Johan remained quiet, playing peacefully, allowing you to focus on your work. Everything seemed perfect until there was a knock on your office door. Before you could respond, a tall, elegant woman entered, exuding confidence and authority. She was dressed impeccably in a tailored dress, her posture graceful and commanding. You immediately knew who she was. It was Mrs. Min, the legendary designer and mother of Yoongi. "So, you're the new designer my son hired." Her tone was calm but carried an air of curiosity and expectation. You quickly stood up, feeling slightly nervous but trying to maintain your composure. "Yes, ma'am, I'm Park Wine. It's an honor to see you." Mrs. Min eyes scanned the room before they landed on Johan, who was still playing quietly on the floor. She raised an eyebrow, clearly noticing the presence of your son. "I see you have been brought your child to work." There was no judgment in her voice, just an observation, but you couldn't help feeling a little anxious. You had already explained the situation to Youngie, but now his mother, a renowned designer herself, was standing in your office. "Yes, I don't have anyone to watch him while I work. Mr. Min has allowed me to bring him here as long as it doesn't interfere with my job." Mrs. Min looked at you for a moment, then walked over to your desk, where she spotted your design. She flipped through your sketches, her expression thoughtful but unreadable. "They are quite impressive. My son may have made a good choice after all." He felt a wave of relief at her words. Having the approval of someone like Mrs. Min meant a lot. But there was still an underlying tension in the air. However, working here is no small responsibility. Men's clothing demands excellence, especially with the upcoming fashion show. My son can be quite particular about what he expects. You nodded, understanding the weight of her words. "I will do my best to meet those expectations, ma'am." Mrs. Min gave a small nod before turning to leave, but not without one last glance at Johann, who smiled innocently at her. "Children can be a distraction, but it seems you have everything under control. I will be keeping an eye on your progress." With that, she left the office, leaving you standing there feeling a mix of relief and pressure. You had made it through the first encounter with Mrs. Min, but her word echoed in your mind. This was just the beginning, and you had to prove that you belonged in the world of top designers. The day had been intense, and you were still adjusting to the fast-paced environment at Min's Closet. Yoongi had called for a last-minute meeting with the entire design team to discuss ideas for the upcoming fashion show. You made sure Johan was settled in your cabin with some toys before rushing to the meeting room. You found Yoongi sitting at the head of the table, Mrs. Min standing nearby with a critical yet intrigued expression. "I have been reviewing all the designs we have come up with so far, but nothing stands out. We don't need just new designs. We need something unique, something that represents our brand in a fresh way." His words hung in the air as everyone sat in uncomfortable silence, trying to come up with ideas that might please him. You could feel the tension rising in the room, a designer nervously shuffling paper and sketchbooks. That's when his word clicked in your mind. "We don't need new, we need unique." The words kept repeating itself in your mind. Instantly, an idea sparked. "Wait, Mr. Min, you don't want something new, but something unique, right?" Everyone turned to you, surprised by your sudden outburst. Even Mrs. Min raised an eyebrow, curious about where you were going with this. Yes, exactly. Something that sets apart but still feels timeless. You stood up, your mind racing with inspiration. What if we take inspiration from traditional Korean handbooks? But instead of keeping them purely traditional, we modernize them, giving them a unique twist while maintaining the cultural essence. For example, we could use unconventional material like skills organza with metallic threads and add a contemporary cut to the sleeves or skirt length. The room felt silent, and for a moment you wondered if you had said something wrong. Then you noticed Mrs. Min's expression had softened, and Yoongi was leaning forward, clearly intrigued. He continued, gaining more confidence as he spoke. We can merge elements of modern streetwear and with traditional hanbok design, like adding a thigh-low asymmetrical skirt with a modern crop top inspired by jewelry. The color can be bold, deep reds, emeralds, and royal blues, but we mix them with metallic accents or even incorporate patterns like formal embroidery on a mesh overlay. It's about honoring tradition while representing it in a way that's never been seen before on an international stage. So you're suggesting we don't reinvent the wheel, but instead of elevate the traditional by integrating modern LG elements? You nodded, heart racing. Exactly. The uniqueness comes from blending the old with the new, from taking something deeply cultural and making it accessible and fashionable for a global audience. The room remained silent for a moment, but then you saw it. A flicker of excitement in Jung's eyes. He leaned back in his chair, a slow smile spreading across his face. That's brilliant. You could feel the weight of the room shift as the other designer exchanged glances. Mrs. Min, who had been watching with sharp eyes, finally spoke. That idea had potential. Korean traditional but with a modern twist. It could be groundbreaking, especially if executed well. Exactly. We will start developing this concept right away. I want sketches on my desk by tomorrow morning. Everyone nodded, looking energized by the new direction. You felt a wave of relief wash over you. Not only had your idea been accepted, but it had sparkled a new level of excitement among the team. As the meeting wrapped up, you gather your things, feeling the rush of accomplishment. You returned home that evening, your heart still racing from the excitement of the meeting. Jimin was lounging on the couch, scrolling through his phone, and the moment you walked in, he looked up with a grin. Hey, you look like you just won a battle. You couldn't help but smile back, feeling the day tension was eased away. You won't believe what happened. I shared my design idea in the meeting room, and you'll love it. Jimin's eyes widened in surprise. Seriously, that's amazing. I know you could do it. You plopped down next to him and he turned off his phone, giving you his full attention. And I asked if I could bring Johan to work with me. He said yes. Jimin chuckled, shaking his head. Look like you are living the dream, huh? Just don't forget about your little brother when you become a big shot designer. You laughed playfully, nudging him. I could never forget you, Jimin. You are my best spotter. Jimin smiled, and for a moment you both sat in comfortable silence, enjoying each other's company before the hectic day ahead.